in his recently released autobiography, his third actually, His Holiness the Dalai Lama had said that his successor or reincarnation would be born in the free world, which basically meant that the 15th Dalai Lama would be born outside of China. Back in 2011, he had also said that when he turns 90 years, he would confabulate with key monks, lamas, and important people within Tibetan Buddhism and decide who would succeed him. That moment has come, with the Tibetan Buddhists from around the world converging on Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh to mark the 90th birthday of their spiritual head. The world is watching, and more importantly, Beijing is keeping a hawk's eye. There's something about the Dalai Lama that scares the Chinese. Let's help you understand why. Take a look.
His Holiness the Dalai Lama is turning 90 on July 6th. Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh, his present abode, is all decked up to mark the occasion with fervour and festivities lined up.
क्योंकि वो एक कॉम्पिटिशन और लव एंड कॉम्पिटिशन का एक गॉड है हम लोग के लिए, है ना?
Tomorrow, 30th would be the day of celebration of his 90th birthday. So it will be a whole day of celebration, and is particularly organized by the people of eastern region of Tibet called Amdo. And the festivities, the decorations and everything will reflect that aspect of the culture. And there will be a lot of dignitaries coming from all over the world, Buddhist world, and our own community, and many more. So this will be very festive and very joyful celebration to really reflect on how great and important His Holiness is, not just for us, but for promoting the peace and happiness for the world. We have long life prayer that has been happening for the last 7 days, which we call Tseduk, and community from the different monastic community members have came here to do a daily prayer, wishing His Holiness to have a long life.
Starting June 30th, for over a week, Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh would see events that would focus on the life and legacy of Dalai Lama. Among them, a 3 days Buddhism conference, lots of rituals and prayers, and of course, a birthday party.
We wish to High Holiness for his long life, good health, and flourish his teaching around the world, benefitable human community, and establish peace, harmony, and happiness.
But the most awaited moment, not just in Dharamshala or India, but the entire world, would be the one when Dalai Lama addresses the faithful. For on his 90th birthday, he is expected to announce or indicate who his successor or reincarnation, the 15th Dalai Lama, would be.
So in 2011, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama said that he would say something about his reincarnation when he turns 90th. But one thing that we have to keep in mind is, if you read that statement, it has clearly said that when he turns 90th, he would consult with all the lamas of Tibetan religious sects and Tibetan people in particular to know whether they should have the continuation of the institution of the Dalai Lama or not. But in 2019, when there was the third General Tibetan meetings. So it was unanimously passed a resolution which says that the Dalai Lama's institution must continue. So that means it will continue. But another thing that we have to keep in mind is when he turns 90th, definitely he will say something about his reincarnation.
Born as Tenzin Gyatso in 1935, the present Dalai Lama has served as the spiritual head of Tibetan Buddhism for the last 7 decades or more. As mysterious as his reincarnation was as the 14th Dalai Lama, so was his escape to India from Chinese dragnet in 1959. The Chinese never liked it. Their takeover of Tibet sought to fashion Tibetan Buddhism into a communist image. Dalai Lama became the face of that resistance. First in Lhasa, then in India, and then around the world. China carried out a massive crackdown like any other religion. So in the case of Buddhism in Tibet, an attempt was made to bulldoze the identity and make it subordinate to the Han Chinese supremacism. As the world watched, the Dalai Lama became the voice of the reason, of peace, even of humanity's capacity to face adversity with a chuckle. Hollywood provided heft, movies got made, Beijing frowned, tightening its grip over Tibet. Out of nowhere, China produced their own Lama, the second highest spiritual position, only to be rejected completely by the followers.
चाइनीज दलाई लामा चाइना अगर कोई ढूंढ भी लेगा उसमें कोई वो नहीं आएगा, जैसे कि अभी जो पेंजन लामा का एक नकली वाला लेके आया था उसमें कोई वो महत्व देने वाला उनको मान्यता प्राप्त नहीं हुआ है तिब्बती समुदाय में, है ना.
The Chinese government during recently made many the fake Lama to preserve Tibetan culture, traditional name of they are the misusing Tibetan culture, tradition and philosophy and community. They are the misusing name of the Tibetan people.
रीइनकार्नेशन के लिए अब जैसे कि पूरा विश्व जानता है दलाई लामा जी का जो भी रीइनकार्नेशन होगा, पुनर्जन्म का जो भी होगा, तो वही हमारा जो अलग से जो एक दलाई लामा जी को जो खोजबीन करते हैं, जो लामा जो हमारे तिब्बती के अंदर होते हैं, तो वही उनको खोजबीन करेगा. और जो दलाई लामा जी अपना जो अभी 14वां जो दलाई लामा जी है, वो अपना जगह ते सब खुद बता के जाते हैं कि इस तरह से होगा, वहाँ पे होगा. तो इसलिए जो भी होगा दलाई लामा जी और हमारा तिब्बती की सबके समुदाय के अंदर ही पता चलेगा कि इनका अगले जन्म कहाँ होगा. चाइना वाला जो हर कोई मनाता है वो बिल्कुल बनता है, जो दूसरा लामा जो बनाते रहते हैं वो सब झूठ होता है और झूठ का पूरे विश्व में पता चल जाता है ये झूठ है, क्योंकि ये हर दम एकदम अपने तरफ से जोर जबरदस्ती करके बनाते हैं जो है.
These voices on the ground are a glimpse of how Chinese machinations are seen on the sensitive issues of reincarnation.
दलाई लामा जी का अभी पुनर्जन्म या उनके रीइनकार्नेशन के बारे में अभी चीन सरकार बहुत अभी जल्दी में है, लेकिन परम भवन जी ने भी बहुत ही अवसर में कहा कि अभी कोई जल्दी नहीं है. अगर चीन सरकार कोई उनका ये रीइनकार्नेशन में कोई दखल डालना चाहेंगे तो पहले उनको अपना माओ जेडोंग, तेंग शॉपिंग इनका रीइनकार्नेशन के बारे में सोचना चाहिए, ना कि परम पावन जी के बारे में, क्योंकि ये हाथ में चीन जो है वो कम्युनिस्ट है, जो नास्तिक है, वो रिलीजियस मैटर्स में उनका ये दखल देना सही नहीं लग रहा है.
These are strong sentiments, a barometer of how China is seen by the followers of Dalai Lama. One thing becomes clear going by these voices, that China has suspect locus on the issue. What if China decides to go ahead and decides to have its own Dalai Lama instead? Would we have 2 Dalai Lamas in the world?
दलाई लामा जी का जन्म या रीइनकार्नेशन एक खेल खेलना था उनको, जो पेंशन लामा के बारे में भी उन्होंने ये किया था, लेकिन वो सबसे बड़ा गलती था उनके। उन्होंने जो हिसाब लगाया था वो नहीं हो पा रहा है अभी तक वो जो असली वाला है उनको अभी तक 30-35 वर्ष अभी तक जेल में रखा हुआ है, किसी से मिलने नहीं दे रहा, उनका स्वास्थ्य और जीवित है या नहीं किसी को उनके बारे में जानकारी नहीं है।
The Dalai Lama has himself spoken on the subject as recently as a couple of months ago in his book, The Voice of the Voiceless, making it clear that his successor will not be from China.
He has made it very clear that his reincarnation would born, quote unquote, in a free world. And at the same time, he also said that he would leave a written instruction when he passes away. So these two instructions will definitely help finding the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama.
The book received sharp reaction from Chinese Foreign Ministry.
14世达赖是一个披着宗教外衣、从事反华分裂活动的政治流亡者，根本无权代表西藏人民。关于达赖转世的问题，活佛转世是藏传佛教特有的传承方式，有固定的宗教仪轨和历史定制。达赖喇嘛活佛传承世系形成发展于中国西藏，其宗教地位和名号也是由中央政府确定的，已经有几百年的历史。
China wants the next Dalai Lama as per their rules.
There's no point of expectation or something like. My point is that, like the Chinese, they don't have a religion. They're against religion, to be honestly speaking, right? So how come they will reincarnate the 14th Dalai Lama? The reincarnation, regarding the reincarnation of 14th Dalai Lama, the Dalai Lama himself will decide who will be the next reincarnations, yeah. Not by the Chinese or not by any of the government or any of the organizations.
And if the announcement happens now, wouldn't the Chinese get time to make a counter move?
If he says something very exact about his reincarnation, I'm sure the Chinese will have plenty of time to counter this argument and statement, so that they will definitely think about how to counter the statements made by the Dalai Lama, and they will definitely think about another way to fight for the succession of the Dalai Lama.
Which means that His Holiness might go through the motions of consultation over the next 1 week, but bid his time when it comes to the actual announcement.
We all know that His Holiness has a very good political acumen. He's a very good political acumen. So he knows exactly how to deal with the Chinese government.
Irrespective of whether His Holiness makes the announcement this coming week on his birthday, China would be on tenterhooks and watching the developments closely. The monk clearly scares the dragon no ends.